So if you can sit cross-legged, that will work great. If this is uncomfortable for you to sit this way, then please go ahead and take one leg out. You could do this. You could do both legs. You could even bend the knees and give yourself a little lift by holding onto those legs, the knees. All right, and then we begin to drop in. So cross-legged, up on a couple blankets if you have them. Let your hands rest on your thighs. And then close your eyes. Sometimes that's the hardest part. So as we close our eyes, we drop in, dropping into our practice. Dropping into you. And closing the eyes allows you to close out the world so that you can bring your mind inside and notice what you feel like today. So just take a couple of breaths here and scan your body and notice what it feels like before you begin your practice. We notice any places that are tight or sore or anything that's resisting you as you sit in this pose. And notice the longer you sit, the more you begin to notice. We take this opportunity to center and leave all of those things that brought you here in the past, so that you bring your mind into the present with your body in this room. And you can be fully present while you practice today. Yoga is a wonderful gift that you give yourself. It's important to be fully present as we move through the poses. So we practice awareness first, noticing how we feel as we sit. And then remember to move inside and notice what your internal body feels like. And notice your energy this morning. And then file all those things in the back of your mind. Don't forget about it for a little while, let it go, and then at the end of class we'll do this again so that you can notice the changes that your practice can give you, bring you. So let your hips get heavy as they soften into the surface where you're seated. Relax your shoulders, let them get heavier. Lift the crown of your head up toward the ceiling. Eyes soft behind the lids. And now move your attention to your breath and watch yourself breathe. Just observe for a few breaths. Observe your breath, checking in. Notice what it feels like as you breathe. We begin to notice the quality, texture, and rhythm, noticing how breath feels as it moves into your body. So if you're breathing through the nose or the mouth, what does it feel like when the air comes in? Is it cold? Is it warm? Can you feel breath brush against the back of your throat? Notice how your chest rises and your ribs expand in all directions. Your belly expands. And then as you exhale, we notice how that feels as well. Letting go of all the stale air, letting go of anything that's negative. Let go of stress and tension with our exhales. And then let's move into a deeper pattern, deeper breath, balancing the inhales and exhales equally. So if it's your first time, all we're doing is breathing in and out to the same amount of time, and you can feel your way through that, or you could count silently to yourself. And like the number 4, maybe 5. Don't make it too high because then it becomes stressful. Breathing in to a number, 4 or 5, and then exhale to that same number, counting to yourself. When you're ready, begin to inhale. And make this breath deeper. It's not your normal breath, it's deeper. We're letting the breath move into the body and begin to carve space. Carving space out of the throat, the lungs, the chest, even the belly. As your mind begins to drift away, sometimes that happens because our body starts talking to us. Try to let those thoughts go and come back to focus on breath. Breathing in, I know I breathe in. Breathing out, I know I breathe out. Beautiful, everybody. Go ahead and release or let go of that technique and find the natural rhythm of your own breath again. Breathe normal. Notice how you feel. And then when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes nice and slow. Good. And then we're going to stay seated for just a couple of more minutes, so I hope that's okay for everybody. Let's go ahead and sit nice and tall, shoulders soft. Let your chin drop in towards your chest. And just let the weight of your head get heavier so that your chin can get closer. Each exhale, the chin gets a little closer to your chest, head gets heavier, shoulders are still soft. And then when you're ready, we're going to press the back of your neck toward the wall behind you and your chin will naturally lift. Beautiful. And then let's take the right ear over towards the right shoulder, tip your chin slightly upward, and either close your eyes or maybe look at the ceiling out of the corner of your eyes. I want you to let your shoulders get heavy. So both shoulders heavy, especially letting that left shoulder soften down away from the ear. When you're ready, gently come back to center, pause in the middle. Notice how you feel, side to side. And then second side, we take our left ear towards the left shoulder, maybe tip the chin slightly upward, maybe look at the ceiling, close your eyes, either way, whichever is comfortable for you. This time the right shoulder is softening down away from your chin, your jaw, your ear. And then come back up. Nice job, everybody. We'll do a few neck rolls now. So when you're ready, chin comes down towards the chest. And then gently bring your head over to your right shoulder. Not past the shoulder. And then back to center and over to the other side. And back and forth a few times. Last time over to the left, back to center, and gently lift your chin. from there, sitting nice and tall, take your right hand on the floor next to your hip. Inhale the left arm up. And then as you exhale, you're going to take the right hand flat on the floor, a little bit away from your hip. Bend your elbow towards your body and reach over towards the right. Your palm faces the floor. Fingertips are reaching. Try to let that left hip press into the surface where you're seated. Draw your navel in. Left hip is pressing down. Right arm is bending towards you, and we reach over. A couple more breaths. You could look down, you could look forward, or look up. If you're looking up, it encourages your left shoulder to draw back a little more. Inhale, coming up, release, pause, feel the difference in your sides. Good, more space. And then we do the second side. So this time the left hand comes on the floor, right arm lifts up, breathe in. Exhale, reach over. Same thing, different side, but you may feel different in this side. So remember that your elbow's bending towards your body, not behind you. Right shoulder's drawing back, and you can look forward, down, or up, whichever's comfortable for your neck. And inhale up, release. Good, and then roll your shoulders a couple times. Beautiful, everybody. Let's inhale, the arms reach up overhead, and then link the fingers together. Please reverse the wrists so that the heels of the hands reach up. Good, and then as you're here, notice if you pressed your chest forward, try to bring that back in. Tailbone descends down. Hold, take a few breaths. Notice how your shoulders feel. Take a nice deep breath here. As you exhale, round your upper back, press the heels of your hands forward and press your spine back toward the wall behind you. Inhale, coming back up, bless you. Exhale, same thing, reach the hands forward, press your spine back behind you. Inhale, rising up. And exhale. Rising up. Hold, see if you can let your shoulders come down just a little bit. See if you can get your biceps next to your ears. Belly draws in. You guys feel some warmth in your shoulders? When you're ready, bend your elbows, slide your fingers apart, and roll your shoulders a few times. Beautiful. All right, from here, let's come on to our hands and knees. You can take your blankets and props off your mat. So our knees are hip distance, right below the hips, wrists right under shoulders and shoulder width. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And when you're ready, soften your spine, gaze forward for the cow pose. As you exhale, round your spine towards the ceiling. Draw your navel into the spine, chin towards the chest. And then inhaling, softening, and gazing forward. Let's do 5 more just like that. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, gazing forward. As you're exhaling and bringing your spine toward the ceiling, really work to get the middle of your back, the back of your waistline, also lifting. So not just the space between the shoulder blades. Breathing in to look forward, breathing out to round. Cat stretch. Arms nice and straight. And when you started moving through cat and cow, what happened to your fingers? Are they still flat and wide? Fingerprints and knuckles grounding into the floor as you make that firm commitment to your mat. Okay, now that we're warming up a little bit, let's do 4 more. And these next 4, we're going to move back to child's pose on your exhales. So we inhale for cow. As you exhale, draw your chin towards your chest, take your navel to your spine and your seat to your heels. Long spine, long arms. Inhale, use the strength of your arms and hands to lift right back up. Move through cow, gazing forward, and then exhale, moving back again. Try to lead with the tailbone. Press through the shins and the top of your feet to help you rise back up. And moving back, take your time, use your breath. Inhaling to lift you and exhaling to move back. And finally, stay in child's pose. Hips to the heels, stretch your arms forward. Forehead to the floor. Take a couple of breaths there. And then when you're ready, move your hands off the mat to the right. So we keep the hands shoulder distance. Try to crawl the fingertips of the left hand just out a little bit further. And then our forehead comes toward the floor. Our chest is still on or between the thighs, with the shoulders, neck, and head and arms are all reaching to the right. As you inhale, try to breathe into the left side of your body. So we expand the left ribs. It's not an action that I can see, but you can feel it as you expand the ribs open with your breath. When you're exhaling, let the whole left side get heavier as it comes toward the floor. Left hip sinking into the left heel, left shoulder softens toward the floor. 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, come back to center. Pause for a moment and feel the difference between your sides. Notice the space you've already created. We did a nice side stretch when we were seated. So now we're taking a little bit deeper. When you're ready, second side. Remember your hands are shoulder distance. We're breathing in now to the right side. Really bringing space to the whole right side of your body. And let's come back to middle. Pause there. Notice if you've created a little more space. You may feel like your forehead is closer to the floor or maybe more of it on the floor. Maybe your hips are closer to your heels. So just a couple of very small movements can create a big difference in how we feel in our body. Inhale, find your way back to tabletop. Wrists under shoulders, fingers spread wide, and please walk your knees together so they touch, knees together. When you're ready, lift your right knee off the floor and lengthen your right leg out behind you. Press the heel back, toes face the floor, hips are level. Draw your belly up and in. You can stay here. This is a lot of work already. You can stay right here. If you want to move on, isometrically squeeze the right hand toward the middle of the mat, but don't move your hand. You're just squeezing in, using your muscles. Lift the left hand off the floor. Reach your fingertips forward. Keep pressing your heel back. And then if you'd like to take it a little step further, take your left hand to the left a few inches and your right foot to the right a few inches. Back to middle, and release. And you might want to work out the right wrist just a little bit, rotate it. And then we move into the second side. So start in tabletop, knees together, wrists are right under the shoulders, shoulder distance. Fingers spread nice and wide. Lift your left knee off the floor. Straighten your leg behind you. And try to keep your hips level. So your leg is straight. Baby toe faces the floor. And when you lifted your leg off the floor, what happened to your elbows? Try to keep both arms strong and straight. And then either staying here, or maybe hugging in with the left hand as you lift your right hand off the floor. Fingertips reach forward, heel presses back. Margie, can you straighten your leg? Breathe in, breathe out. Try to line up your bicep with your ear. Palm faces left. The palm of your hand faces left. Open the fingers. Looking down so that you take the curve out of the neck. So we want to have a natural curve there. You don't want to stress it too much. And then if you're moving on, move your foot to the left a few inches and your hand to the right a few inches. Back to center. Release. And then find child's pose. Knees are hip distance. Sink your heels into your hips into your heels. Walk your hands forward and rest your forehead on the floor. When you're ready, inhale back to tabletop. Walk your hands one hand length forward towards the top of your mat. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And squeeze the arms toward each other. Curl your toes under. Lift your knees. Find downward facing dog. Good morning to your hamstrings. Good morning to your back. So take a moment here. Don't move anything. Just focus on your body and notice what you feel. And then please bend your right knee, let your left heel sink toward the floor. Try to keep your hips lifted though. We don't want to drop the hips. We're keeping the hips lifted high, just bending that knee, letting the opposite heel press toward the floor. And then what happened to your elbows when you bent your knee? Did they bend? Both arms straight and strong. Firm commitment to the mat with your hands. And then switch legs. Left knee bends, right heel sinks. And then pedal it out side to side a few times. And both heels press back and down. If your hamstrings are tight, please keep your knees bent. The knees can stay bent. Keep sending the seat back toward the wall behind you. Arms are hugging toward your ears. Lift your shoulders away from your ears. If your hamstrings are a little more open, you can begin to sink your heels toward the floor. Take 2 more breaths if you can. Beautiful, everybody. When you're ready, walk or step to the top of the mat. And then stay in that forward fold. Bend your knees. Hold on to your elbows. Let the forearms drop toward the floor so that your ears come in between your biceps, or your biceps are on the outside of your ears. Lift your shoulders slightly. And then sway side to side a few times, just back and forth. It's like a pendulum in a clock, swinging from side to side. Not a lot of effort. This should happen naturally. It's pretty easy. Just hanging from the hips, swinging from the hips. Beautiful. Come back to center. Release your arms and circle them now behind you. Fingers linked together. Draw your elbows toward each other across your back. Lift your shoulders away from your ears. And then begin to straighten the arms as you lift toward the ceiling. Chin tips in toward your chest slightly, back of the neck long. Beautiful work. Knees can be bent here if your hamstrings are tight. We want to take the hamstrings out of the equation. We're just lengthening the spine. Exhale, release the hands to the floor or to your shins. Inhale, come a third or half the way up. If your hands are on the floor, you can use your fingertips to pull the floor towards you. Draw your belly in, get nice and long in the spine. Chin is tipping in slightly. If your hands are on your shins, use that. Use your shins to leverage, to straighten the arms and get the spine nice and long. As you exhale, take your hands behind your calf muscles and draw yourself closer to your legs. If your hands are on the floor, you can push the floor away from you to get a little more leverage to get closer to your thighs. Again, inhale, so wherever your hands are, they're going to stay there. Exhale, fold, but your hands should be on something, either your legs or the floor. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. And then everybody take your hands to your hips, bend your knees, and slowly roll up. Take your time. We're upside down a long time. Everybody okay? Let's move to the top of the mat, please. So if you're in the middle, move to the top. Find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Toes facing forward, arms rest next to your sides. Shoulders soft, crown of the head lifting. There's a lot of work that goes on here. If you're pressing through the feet, you'll notice that your legs get nice and strong. You're engaging the muscles of the legs. So the quads are lifting, kneecaps lifting. Draw your belly in. Relax your shoulders. Crown of your head lifts. So if we stayed like this for the next 30 minutes, do you think you could hang out and do that? Yeah. Without dropping everything. Nice, strong posture. This is your mountain pose, Tadasana. Mountain pose is rooted, strong, firm. Nothing could knock you over. Super strong. From this place, press your feet firmly into the floor. Lift your arms up toward the ceiling. Even look up slightly. As you exhale, fold towards your legs. Inhale, reach the arms out to the sides. Come right back up. Exhale your arms, your hands to your heart. So hands come down to our chest. Inhale, reach up. A little bit of an upper back bend. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, come right back up. Hands come to the heart. One more time, breathe in. So we're linking breath to movement. Fold in. Nice job, everybody. Now take your right foot back behind you. Nice big giant step. Nice big giant step. Your feet should be apart, as far apart as one of your legs are long. Drop your hips, bend the front knee. Hands on the floor. Good. And can you step your foot further back? Trust yourself. Let your right knee come to the floor. All right, so if having your knee on the floor causes you pain, there's a couple of things you can do. You can either roll your mat and give yourself a little extra cushion when your knee is there. Or if you have a blanket, you can take the blanket to where your knee is and bring your knee there. Okay? If you don't have either of those, you could keep your knee off the floor. It's going to be a little trickier, but you could do it. All right, so from here, knee is on the floor. I want you to isometrically draw that knee forward. So you're going to pull the knee forward. Left heel draws back. And this is going to give you the foundation to bring your hands off the floor. So we squeeze in. Inhale, arms reach forward. Catch your ears with your biceps and come all the way up. Good. Now, go ahead and let your hands come down. Everybody watch me for a moment. If when you came up, you went like this is going to be a little harder to balance. And now we're losing the stretch that I would like for you to have right here in the front of your right hip. So instead, we're going to just lift the arms and the chest when we come here. So you guys see, my hip is way in front of this back knee. and you'll feel that right here. Yeah? It's easier to balance too. Keep hugging your heel and your knee toward each other. Squeeze in. Inhale, arms reach up. Lift your chin slightly. Belly draws in. Take a breath. Exhale, hands to the floor. Curl your back toes under, lift your knee, take your time. And then step that right foot forward. Woo, forward bend, stay there. Take your hands behind your back, link your fingers, stretch into your chest again. Exhale, the hands come down. As your hands come down, drop your seat. Take your seat behind you. So you're bending the knees, dropping your seat. Reach the arms forward. Come into Utkatasana, chair pose, fierce pose. And then press the feet and come all the way up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Okay. So can you guys see me? Chair pose. The seat is way back like you're going to sit in a chair. Arms are up, chest is lifting. We're not here. We're here. Everybody try. Take your seat behind you. Look down, make sure you can see your toes. Knees hug in toward each other. Belly draws in. Arms are next to the ears. Can you do it? Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Beautiful. Come right up. Exhale. So we're going to move through chair. You don't have to hold it. You're just going to move through it. Good. Left side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Left foot steps back, giant step. Different side. Let your knee come down. Point your toes. Hug your knee and heel together. Inhale, coming up. Keep your right knee moving toward the front wall. There you go. Yeah. Inhale, we look up. Exhale, hands down. Curl your back toes under, lift your knee off the floor, and step forward. Circle your arms behind your back. Stretch the chest again. Exhale, release the hands. Drop your seat. Come through chair. Utkatasana. And all the way up. Beautiful. Hands to your heart. Right side. Inhale. Exhale. Right foot back. Trust yourself. Take a nice giant step. Let your knee come down. Inhale up. Exhale, hands down. And step forward. Back of the neck long. Hands behind the back. Stretch the shoulders and chest. Exhale, release the hands. Drop your seat. Sweep the arms forward and up, and then come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Beautiful. Inhale, left side. Fold in. Left foot back. Let your knee come down. Take your time. Remember to hug the knee and the heel toward each other. Inhale, arms up. Notice how you're getting deeper into the pose with each sequence. Each time you come back, gets a little bit better. Hands down, curl your back toes, lift your knees, step forward. Circle your arms. Feel the openness you're creating in your chest. Release the hands, drop your seat, sweep the arms forward, and come all the way up. And you do one more round. Inhale, press the feet, lift the arms, exhale, hold. Right foot back. Let your knee come down. Inhale. Use your breath. Soften your face. Try not to frown. Stepping forward. Circle the arms. Exhale, release. Sometimes we're so focused on what we're doing. We're wrinkling our brow. Not sure where we are in time, not smiling. Really the ultimate yoga pose is when you can smile as you're moving through your sequence. You know how good it is for you, and you're happy to be here. You're happy you're moving. Stepping forward. Beautiful work, everybody. Hands behind the back. Good. Coming all the way up through chair. Also called fierce pose. Exhale, hands to your heart. I say chair because that's what people really resonate. We hear that mostly. But the official word is really fierce because we're so fierce when we're here. Heart is beating. Blood is flowing. Right? Yeah. All right, so find your mountain pose, Tadasana. Close your eyes. Move your attention to your breath. Notice the breath rate. Notice quality and texture. Begin to allow your breath to slow down and smooth out. Press your feet firmly into the floor. So all four corners, big toe mound, outer heel, little toe mound, inner heel. The arches lift. Your feet should feel like little suction cups on your mat. Lift the knees, engage your quads. Draw your belly in. Relax your shoulders. Crown of the head continues to lift toward the ceiling. Like you're drawing your body apart in two different directions. Feet pressing, crown of the head lifting. You just gained an inch in height. When you're ready, please open your eyes. It's a new moment. And we'll move into tree pose. Sanskrit term Vrikasana. So all of the weight moves to the right foot. And then rotate your left foot so that your heel can rest at your ankle. Your toes can be on the floor. Take that knee to the side. Tree pose is a hip opener. Hands come to your heart. So this is the beginning, the first step. You can stay right here. If you're balanced and you have a great place and you're hanging out, find your gaze looking maybe at the floor 3 or 4 feet in front of you. Draw the belly in, beautiful. And then maybe just stay here, or if you'd like to travel on, lift that foot, slide it up to your calf muscle. Test the waters. Maybe reach down and lift your ankles so your foot can come right onto your inner thigh. If you've done that, squeeze your thigh and your foot together. Knee is still reaching to the sides. Remember your breath. Or maybe lift your arms up overhead. And remember what I said about the smiles. Exhale your hands to your heart. Place your foot on the floor. Take your arms next to your sides. Close your eyes. Feel and notice the difference between your sides. Notice anything that changed. When you're ready, second side, opening your eyes, move all of your weight to the left foot. Really root into the floor with all 4 corners of the feet, lifting the quad muscles, engaging your muscles. We don't want to clench the muscles, but they should be firm. And then when you're ready, opposite foot reaches up or comes up, either to the ankle, the calf muscle, or the thigh, whichever you want to try today. Remember where your gaze is. Stay focused. Take a few breaths. Maybe hands come up overhead. Maybe you lift your gaze. Excellent work, everybody. Excellent balance today. Exhale, hands to your heart. Your foot comes down. We're all very well balanced, very well grounded. From here, standing position, go ahead and inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Take your hands behind your back again. Link your fingers. Stretch into the chest. Notice the space you have now that you didn't have when we did this at the beginning of class. More space in the chest, the shoulders are more flexible. Lift your shoulders away from your ears, tip your chin towards your chest. Back of the neck is long. Feel how close you are to your thighs. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. And can you bend your knees until your seat comes all the way down? And then have a seat. From your seated position with your knees bent and your feet on the floor, actually before you do that, if you want to get any socks or jackets for Savasana, go ahead and grab that while you're sitting up. It is cold today. Once you have everything you need, we're going to keep the belly drawing in nice and strong and roll your way down onto your back. Keep your knees bent, keep your feet on the floor. And then take a few breaths there on the floor. Notice how the floor feels. Feel the support. And then draw your knees into your chest. Hug the knees down and rock side to side. If rocking doesn't feel good on your back and it causes any pain, then don't rock. I don't want you to have pain. Yoga's not about pain. Rocking a little back, for some people, for a lot of us, it just feels good on the back, the muscles that support our back. But you don't have to do it. If you are rocking, come back to center. Take your arms to the sides in a T. Palms face the ceiling. Take a breath. As you exhale, take your knees and your feet to the right. Tuck your knees right up under that armpit. And then maybe look over to the left. Take a few breaths here. So your left shoulder may have popped off the floor. If it's hanging out there a few feet off the floor, then just take that left hand to your left hip and let your arm rest there. If you're just a few inches away, every time you exhale, draw the belly in and begin to rotate the rib cage and the chest and shoulders open. And you might find that that left shoulder comes back onto the floor. If this is easy for you, then take a look at your knees and try to stack the left knee on top of the right knee and see how that deepens the pose or changes the pose. Inhale, lift your legs back up. Pause for a moment. Notice the difference in your sides. And then when you're ready, second side, knees go over to the left, tucking right under the left armpit. And then again, notice what happened to the right shoulder. So if it comes all the way off the floor a few feet, let your right hand just rest at your hip. Maybe look to the right. But if you're just a few inches off the floor, try to stay with it. Each exhale, navel draws in, turn the ribs and the chest and the shoulders open, and look over to the right. And after a few breaths, you might try stacking the knees. When you're ready, turn your gaze back to the ceiling. Inhale the knees back up. Pull the knees into your chest. And then again, maybe rock side to side. And then back to center. Keep your hands on your knees, and let's do some really large circles. Push your knees away from you, open the knees wide, and pull them right back into the chest, and just do 3 or 4. Your hips should feel nice and open after that sequence we did today. Reverse the circles, drawing the knees into the chest, to the outer ribs toward the floor, and then out and back to center. And back up to middle. Couple of tiny circles, both knees go the same direction. And reverse those circles. And then back to center. Keeping your hands on your knees, squeeze just the right knee down and look left. Inhale, release your knee, look up to the ceiling. Exhale, left knee squeezes in, look to the right. So you're looking the opposite way of the knee that's coming in. Inhale, look up, and again the other side. And then back to center. One more big squeeze in. And then stretch out for your last pose, Savasana. So our feet are resting just a little wider than hip distance. Legs are straight. Arms away from your body. Palms face the ceiling. Do what you need to do to stay warm. If your lower back is uncomfortable with your legs straight, you can roll a blanket and put that blanket under the knees, and that will support your back in Savasana. And then we rest. Feel the support of the floor as it comes up to hold you. Let your heels get heavy. They sink into the floor. Hips heavy. Shoulders soft. Allow your collarbones to widen. Relax your throat. Soften your jaw. Soften all the facial muscles, allowing your nose to soften and melt into your face. Release the outer edges of your eyes. Let your eyeballs get heavy as they sink into their sockets. And notice the space between your eyebrows. Allow that space to grow wider. Relax your forehead. With your whole body soft, melting, relaxing. Guide your attention now to focus on your breathing. Observe your body breathing. that happens, notice and guide your attention back to focus on breathing. You might repeat to yourself over and over again, breathing in, I know I breathe in. Breathing out, I know I breathe out. Rest here in Savasana. Let it be easy. Let this be the easiest pose you do today. There is no effort. Relax. To allow your breath to deepen. And as your breath deepens, allow it to fill your entire body. Breathe into your whole body. Begin to move fingers and toes first. Arms and legs, we begin to bring movement back slowly. And then when you feel ready, draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a good hug of love. Forever grateful for these bodies that carry us through our day, meeting our every demand no matter what shape they're in. Rock a little side to side, as long as that feels good. Waking up your back muscles, and then roll to a side. Right side is preferable, but if you have a shoulder that doesn't feel good, you can always go the other way. And as you roll into a fetal position, tuck your knees up close to your chest. Take a moment to adjust. This is a new position. Take a nice deep breath. And as you breathe in, move your breath to the space right between the shoulder blades. Widen the upper back. Take a moment here to scan your body, just like you did when we began class. And notice how you feel. Notice how you feel and remember how you felt. And appreciate your effort today. You showed up. That's the hard part. You've been present the entire time. You move more space into your body, between your breaths and between your thoughts. That's the magic of yoga. When you feel ready, press your hands into the floor. Please come up from your side. Try not to roll back onto your mat. And then have a seat facing forward one more time. Please join your hands together, the rest of you. Crown of the head lifts up. Relax your shoulders down. Close your eyes. And we'll end the class by just taking a great big breath. So when you're ready, breathe in and fill your lungs as big as you can. That's your oxygen. That gives you energy. And then a great big sigh. Let go of any stress or tension you're still holding. Release it all. Thank you for being here this morning and allowing me to guide you through your class and your practice. Always remember that you matter. I honor the light that is in each of you. Namaste.